This is the Pilot's News Briefing Podcast. I'm Frank Daniels. With me today is Matt Lamb from the Pilot's Newsroom, bringing us the latest news in Moore County. And this is a school-related part of your school's beat. You said, and did it come out of a construction meeting?
Yeah, after 2 weeks of banging away at a couple of lawsuits at the up at the courthouse, I figured we would kind of change direction a little bit. This is pretty salient, and it's going to have a big effect on what happens next week at a County Board of Commissioners meeting. So next week, the Moore County Board of Education will go to the commissioners, and they will request $3.3 million in lottery funding for a new IT building on the district's recently acquired property out on Vass-Carthage Road. So bear with me here. We've belabored this conversation about Vass-Carthage Road and a new Carthage Elementary. And keep in mind that the IT building and a new Carthage Elementary, they're inextricably linked. So we'll get to that. But as far as the need for a new IT building, it houses not just IT, it's the Planning, Accountability, and Research Office as well. And it needs pretty extensive repairs. There's a leaky roof, there are heating and air issues, ventilation is poor, there's plumbing problems, the ceiling and floor need to be replaced. And then even if you fixed all that, the layout is seemingly ineffective for what those folks are trying to do there. So the floor plan is off. They've got to use a mobile unit already. And then there's an off-site warehouse at Vass Lakeview Elementary. So there's a lot of things that are wrong with the IT building, and they've kind of been kicking the can down the road for a while. Keep in mind that I have folks ask me a lot when it comes to budget season about lottery funding. Everybody's like, well, where's the North Carolina lottery money? It's based on a tier system, and we are a wealthy-ish county compared to others in North Carolina. So we get less lottery funding, but lottery funding is exclusively earmarked for the most part for capital costs, so building construction. So that's where our lottery dollars go. Just getting that PAR building, that IT building, kind of up to snuff where it needs to be, it could cost as much as $2 million, 1.5, 1.8. It's kind of getting up there. And even then, you're still constrained by space, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes on there. That tech department, they support 1,800 staff members, 13,000 students. You got 8,000 desktops and laptops, 1,200 tablets, and then, their Chromebook rollout that's kind of ongoing. There's like 9,000 help desk issues each year. And then when it comes to the PAR folks, Planning, Accountability, and Research team, they support data management and research, and then they facilitate school improvement plans and then professional learning stuff for staff. So the new plan for a new IT building, it's a cost-effective design with local contractor Retson, and it's a metal framing with a brick veneer. In our lottery funds right now, we've got close to $5 million for the district. But again, those requests have to be routed through the county commissioners, and then the request goes to the state, and the money comes back. So it is the district's money. There are just a couple of caveats to that, right? It's got to be approved by the commissioners. There is an issue with that, though, taking a request for $3.3 million to the commissioners, and it is Vass-Carthage Road. If you remember last year, the school board toiled over a new site for Carthage Elementary. Months, ongoing deliberations, multiple meetings, several site examinations, a lawsuit filed by a current school board candidate, and then they voted 3 separate times, the school board. Finally, in December, they voted by a 5-2 margin to endorse the site as purchased for $465,000 last October. However, that decision came at the objection of a couple of school board members, primarily David Hensley and Pauline Bruno. Jenny Purvis, the assistant superintendent for operations, she analyzed numerous alternatives that were proposed by the county, by the Carthage Board of Commissioners, by a kind of vehement group of folks who were extremely frustrated with the notion that a new Carthage Elementary was not being built in Carthage proper.
Residents, primarily Carthage residents.
Correct. And for the district and her analysis, they all kind of proved troublesome, whether they were cost prohibitive, whether there are issues with the land. So Vass-Carthage Road ended up being the call. It got so bad at one point that the County Board of Commissioners walked out of that meeting with the school board in frustration. So now the school board's going back to the same group of commissioners who expressed extreme frustration with the purchase to ask for $3.3 million in funding for a building that's meant to go on that site. And this is all amid bond talks. For months, we've been talking about a prospective general obligation bond next November for Carthage Elementary School. There are a lot of folks, well, I don't want to say a lot. There are some vocal folks who have expressed their denial of a Carthage Elementary on Vass-Carthage Road. Either way, the school board, as of right now, is going to the County Board of Commissioners on Tuesday to make this request. And I don't quite know how to frame this, but we've spent the afternoon, and I've heard through, you'll call it the coconut wireless, that there is a chance that this whole thing takes a very sharp turn in the next couple of days. There have been talks about a potential special call meeting for the school board on Monday to discuss some alternatives. And I have a feeling that those alternatives will be about Vass-Carthage Road and about Carthage Elementary, and by way of that, about the IT building. There are some potential outcomes that would have Carthage Elementary elsewhere and could potentially forego a bond issue in 2026. So I don't, I'm super non-committal. I don't want to,
As you said, this is not anything that you've been able to verify through.
Correct.
Through official action.
Yes.
Such as a meeting, a special called meeting, if that were to take place on Monday. But.
And if not, the school board still makes their pitch to the commissioners on the 17th.
Okay. Which is Tuesday. Okay.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, indeed, we will see, and I know you will be still chasing it down over the next few days. But if anybody has questions for Matt after they take a look at this story about the IT building, they can give him an email to mlamb@thepilot.com. That's MLAMB@thepilot.com. You can send me an email about the podcast or what we're doing here to frank@thepilot.com. That's FRANK@thepilot.com. And that's the latest news in Moore County.
See you, Frank.
See you.